We'll never know who you are, Master. Oh, there's a microphone there. Take your mask off for a moment. Oh, it's you, George.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Right into the mic. Speak. Get right into the mic.
Okay, how you doing?
Perfect.
It's an honor to see you in person. I'd like to know which one of the Star Trek films was your favorite to do?
Well, there's no question which was the best one. Star Trek 5 was the best. The fact that I directed it, I thought probably the most popular and the best one was the one with the whales. It was interesting directing. Please sit down and make yourself at home. They gave Leonard Nimoy and I had a contract, whatever the other gets, and that kind of thing. So he was able to get them to let him direct the film. So they had to let me direct the film. So I chose 5. I was the 5th. And they allowed us to do anything we wanted, any subject, pretty much. So I thought, what an interesting subject would be for a story that I would like to tell, would be Star Trek Goes in Search of God. Wow. Everybody said, whoa, what a great idea. I had been reading an author who wrote about an American in Japan, and this American in Japan, trying to valiantly think of the guy's name, was not like, didn't belong there, so it was like a Spock-like character. I thought he'd be perfect to write this story about we go in search of God. What was his name? It was three names. In any case, I went to New York, and we walked the streets of New York, he and I, talking about how Star Trek, how the cast would go in search of God. And I came back to Los Angeles and told the people at Paramount Studios what I had done, and this famous author wanted to write the script, and everyone was excited. And then they began to negotiate with the writer, and the writer wanted the book rights, because he was writing the book. He would write the script, but he would have the book rights to write the book to the script. And Paramount wanted to retain the rights to the book, justifiably. Each party had a reasonable argument. So it ended that he didn't write the book. He didn't write the script. Then, I believe it was Gene Roddenberry said, well, whose God is it? Good question. There are so many gods that different religions identify as their God, and people have died. Millions of people have died over the centuries saying, this is my God and you better believe it or I'll kill you. So that was a problem. And then somebody said, what if it, but I had the characters going and finding the devil instead of God, but the devil by extension means that God exists. So then somebody said, well, what happens if it's an alien who thinks he's the devil? And by this time, it was so thwarted by the story. I wanted the story, we go in search of God. And that was changing. And everybody said, well, if it's an alien, I think we can do it. And I thought, okay, let's do an alien. Not realizing that compromise was the death knell of the purity of the story. So all through the directing of that picture, I had to fight the idea, or deal with the idea that we all deal with. When do you stand on a principle and when do you negotiate? We do that all through our life. We have a mantelpiece at our house, and I'd gotten a statue, a piece of sculpture from South Africa. I'd gone to visit the guy in South Africa, this wonderful South African sculptor, and I picked up this piece and brought it home and put it on the mantelpiece. And there alone on the mantelpiece was this magnificent rhinoceros made of jadeite, greenish, not jade, but jade, something in the jade family. Marvelous piece, a rhino, and alone on the mantelpiece. My wife said, yeah, and we could put 2 candlesticks, one over there and one over there. I said, no, this, alone, it looks like, no, the mantelpiece, the candlesticks. My principle was, this thing looked really good alone. Hers was, we need the candlesticks. You can't have both. You can only have one or the other. So if you stand on principle, I mean, what do you do? So there are candlesticks on the mantelpiece. But the point is, there are some things you've got to stand on principle, and I don't know what that is, and some things you have to negotiate all through life. And that's what I learned on that film. There were so many compromises I had to make that, looking back now that I've learned that principle, had I known that, I would have done something different, but I didn't. So Star Trek V is a flawed movie filled with promise that I couldn't quite deliver. So Star Trek IV is probably